What is going on, guys? This is Virtual Gaming with my review of Noragami episode 1, and this episode, it was great. It was definitely a good way to start off an anime because it got me invested into the series, so I will definitely be reviewing this series every single week for you all. So it starts off kind of weird because we just see like all these eyes appearing like, at random times, but we're at this school. And you could tell right away that like something's off. We have all these students having like these thoughts, and there was this one girl that actually stands out in particular because she looks so different compared to everybody else. Everybody has on this like black uniform, and they all have these very pale faces and bodies. So clearly, something is not right here. But they're having all these thoughts, and they're mainly negative about her. And we could just see they all gang up on her at one point because they even told her that she sucks. And then we see like this red snake monstrosity, whatever you want to call it. But then we have these two people that appear once this girl actually asked for help from God. And so this guy named Yato, he with this woman called Tomone. I think that's how you say her name. But we actually see that this guy, he is able to make her transform into this knife or into this blade. And it was actually pretty cool. I definitely liked the way he like changed something, powered it up. But even without this weapon, he was actually going toe to toe with the thing called the Phantom. Now clearly, it wasn't really hurting it because we see that actually get enraged and charge at him. But once he powered up the blade, he quickly made work of it. And that animation of him cutting up and it like exploding into pieces, that right there was freaking great. The animation for this series, I am definitely digging it. Now, after all that, you would think that things would actually go smoothly between these two characters because this guy, Yato, he just came in there and cleaned up. But Tomone, she actually surprised us because, like, even though she seems so respectful, she actually quits on the guy, even though it's only been 3 months. Now, the reason that she wants to quit is because that Yato, he's like a new god, so he's not that well known. And Tomone, she's kind of like stuck up a little bit because she rather work with somebody, very respectful. And we see her like breaking down and crying, even though Yato, chill out the sacred treasure, he should be the one that, is just upset, but it's the other way around. But he actually does release her. And so when she's leaving, she just shows her true color, which is just so disrespectful. So the next day, he's actually promoted himself because he is a new god. So he actually doesn't get that much business. And now, he was actually waiting for a while for somebody to contact him. And when somebody did, it was for a missing cat named Milord. And so we have the 3 girls now. They actually came across a sign, for this cat. And they were kind of bashing on it because of the name. And that right there, I kind of felt bad for the owner. Because they were just bashing this cat name because they were saying that it was so stupid or only losers named their pets after like gods and stuff. And so this girl Hiyori, she's actually a huge fan of martial arts, and she actually played the video of a fight. And I'm not gonna lie, even though this part which is so freaking small, that video of that guy kicking the other fighter once you grab his leg, it was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie, I found that pretty cool. And it was definitely awesome at how Hiyori is such a huge fan of that. And so her friend was actually asking her if there was like somebody she actually liked, and she actually couldn't think of anybody. But when she comes across Yato, it's kind of like a little bit first sight because we actually see him earlier where he's looking for the cat, but those two never cross paths until he actually walked past her. But he finally spots the cat, but it's in the street, and so he actually runs after it. And now here's where Hiyori, kind of messed up because I'm pretty sure if she knew he was a god, then there was no reason for her to interfere. But she actually pushed him out the way because this bus was coming, and so she actually got hit by it, and that right there, kind of killed her because it knocked her soul out of her body. Because I thought like there was no way that she could be this fine. And and she just got hit by a freaking bus. But to my surprise, she actually came out of there with only a few scratches because she actually woke up like inside her own body. So that right there, I'm kind of confused about because how in the world can you actually, survive a bus hitting you with only a few minor injuries like that? So once she wake up, she actually, brings up Yato, but nobody else saw him except for her. So I wonder why is that? Because like that right there, I find very interesting. Like how come she's the only one that I can see Yato? Now maybe it's because of the reason that they explain, close to the end of the episode. Like I think that right there could be it, but I'm not really too sure. But while she was in her hospital bed, Yato actually came up and checked on her, and she just got up so freaking quickly and ran off like some scared animal that it made me wonder, if she was like exactly human to begin with, because Yato actually does explain, what happened to her at the end. So now, after Yato had checked on her and made sure she was okay, he actually left, and he was still looking for this cat. But Hiyori, it seemed that, she recovered rather quickly. I mean, yeah, she actually, only had a few minor injuries, but I still think that she should be in the hospital a little longer, because it seemed that she was like in there no longer than like a day or two, because we see like she comes to school rather quickly, and we see that there's like a side effect of her accident where she falls asleep, randomly, or becomes very dizzy or drowsy, as she would say. So that right there, made me wonder why is that? Like maybe something like, really did happen to her, and it wasn't what I thought it was. I will go into detail like about what I thought might have happened. So now, she actually really wants to see Yato again, because she was thinking, if it was like really true or not, what had happened. Because maybe to her it was all a dream, but as we all know, that right there is simply impossible. But once she came across the Milord wanted poster again, she actually wanted to find a cat, because she thought if she did, then she would run into Yato again. And so as she was looking for the cat, she came across all these like random ones, and we actually find her on a roof. And there was like at one point when she became drowsy, we see like this tail coming out of her back. Now at first I thought that that tail was like like maybe like here's my theory. I thought like maybe there was like some cat deity or something that had fused herself, because we all know that cats have like 9 lives, after they say. So maybe this cat had fused with her and gave her like one of his lives, because in that moment where she like ran from Yato, when he was like in her bed, she actually did remind me of a feline, because she kind of had those like characteristics. So that right there is at least what I thought. So after Yato finally finds the cat, he used this catnip to lure it out, or try to lure it out, and we just see those eyes again that we have seen sometimes. So like these guys were actually phantoms, but they were just like small frogs. And because Yato does not have a sacred treasure, or they outnumber him greatly, he couldn't find them, so he had to run away. But then we have like this giant toad phantom, who I was so hoping that Yato might be able to fight it, with like something else. But it seems that to kill a phantom, he actually needs a sacred treasure, because otherwise he is a god after all. So how come he could use anything else? And he actually forgot at one point that he lost it. So I kind of feel bad for him. I do hope that it won't take him that long to find another sacred treasure. And at first I thought that maybe Hiyori will become his next sacred treasure, because she is definitely an important character. But maybe because of what she is, that right there can be possible. But Hiyori actually appeared, and she actually saved him again. And when she kicked that toad, that moment right there, it was pretty epic, because she had copied that martial arts guy. So I definitely like that. But they had managed to escape the toad, and they were like hiding behind the vending machine. But Hiyori didn't realize that her soul was like out of her body. And so now, thanks to Yato explaining it to her, once she had went back into her body and he like carried her to safety, we learned that she's now on the borderline between the living and the dead. Because in this series, they have these two terms: the near shore, which is the realm of the living, and the far shore, which is what we call the afterlife. So that right there, is very interesting in concept, and I actually like those terms. I really do. Like, hopefully, they expand on that greatly, and maybe, it's possible that we actually will see the characters go to the far shore, because I would imagine that it would be an entirely different place compared to the near shore. Obviously, like, maybe, it could be a complete replica of the near shore, except, there are just dead people there. But he was explaining now, that she is basically, a phantom. But I do wonder, now that we know what she is, being a hybrid and all, will she have powers? Now, I will say this, like, we have seen these phantoms take on, like, these weird forms, like some kind of, like, giant snake, eyeballs, and a freaking toad. So I would imagine that she should have, like, some kind of ability. But the reason why I would say that Hiyori would not be, his new sacred treasure, is because she's a phantom. But not only that, it's the opening. Now, the opening did kind of, like, spoil a few things, because we actually see, like, a little too much. But but in case you have skipped over the opening, I really won't go into detail about that, because I don't want to, like, spoil anything. But now that Hiyori wants Yato help about turning her back to normal, he actually has this fee, and he was gonna say that it's 5 yen, and she was thinking that it was like some outrageous number like 50,000, 500,000, but no, it's just 5 yen, which she pays him easily. So I would imagine that he only charges that little amount. It's because he's a new god, and a low price or a very cheap price could bring out, or could attract many customers. But we actually go to the owner of Milor, and he's this little kid. And when he opened the door and saw his cat, that moment right there, it actually touched me. It actually warmed my heart. I actually liked the ending a lot. But like I said, this series, I'm liking it. I am going to review the next episode, and if I do like it enough, I actually will review the entire series. But I have a feeling that I'm going to review it, because the first episode, it just had me so hooked that I want to see more. But as always, guys, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. I would love to hear what y'all thought about the first episode. But as always, guys, you all take it easy.